Hello everyone, welcome back to Hakuoki, Kyoto Wins. It's been a while since I posted, because I've just not been feeling recording, and I've been dying to finish Lives of Peace, so that's what I've been doing lately. Also, I've been playing a lot with my friends, and it's just been the one that gives me most joy, so I want to do that. Also, my AC is broken, so everything is hot, and I'm just not in the mood to do shit. My cat is also struggling from the heat, so that's what you get when you live in Asia with no fucking season. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm ranting. Let's just start with it, okay? Because I'm so ready for this. No news of my father came forth the other day, and some more assistants took a hold of me. Originally, it seems Hichikata granted me approval to accompany the captains on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad. Then he called me in. Excuse me. I saw Okita and Hisuke has been summoned along with me. I felt a particularly sense of relief. I did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hichikata. You called me? Hichikata seems to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence.
お前の行動さん探しの件だがな。しばらく様子を見ようと思う。
What? But why? We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hichikata remained deeply
長
composed.
州の連中が不穏な動きを見せている。本来ならお前を外に出せる時期じゃない。
I heard how the warriors of Choshu Domain associate with the Imperial Nationalist Party. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. All of their faith is aligned with the Emperor. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the Shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it could mean that my own goal is a little concern to the Shinsengumi. It might be something of a burden to them. So are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Choshu domain settle? Hichikata nodded and turned towards me, the two men.
というわけで、今日からこいつを巡察に連れて行くのは取りやめだ。
なるほどね。だから当番の俺らが呼ばれたってわけか。
Hisuke seemed two steps behind Hichikata's words, until this very moment where it seemed to
でも
click.
今までだってこいつが巡察に迷惑をかけたこともないし、別にいいんじゃないかな。
そうそう。僕たちに何かあっても関わらないようにしてくれればそれでいいし、どさくさに紛れて逃げ出すこともないし。
I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I could stand to keep my mouth shut. I made up my mind the minute the men of the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped to find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing even since I first arrived in Kyoto. I will keep my vow. So please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okita, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say.
危険を承知でついてくるって言うなら、僕の一番組に同行してくれて構わないよ。それに、行動さんらしい人を見たっていう証言もあるしね。
With you, babe, I go anywhere.
確かにそういう証言もある。だが、危険だと分かってるところにミスミス出すこともねえだろ。分かってるのか？お前らの足を引っ張りかねねえんだぞ。
I promise I won't cause any trouble, please. If I lose the opportunity to search for my father, then the chance of finding him will sink. I lied prostrate before him. Prostrate before him? What does that mean? And Hichikata simply sighed heavily.
市中を巡察する組長の指示には必ず従え。いいな。
Ino. Hi! Arigatou gozaimasu! I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply
行
again.
くか行かないかはお前が好きに判断しろ。
알겠습니다. I don't know. What's in Japanese? Hi! I had to make sure this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okita or Hisuke, I'm sure I'll be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence would be an undue burden to them. What should I do? Leave? Because I'm going with Okita. Huh? It feels like there are more people walking around than usual. The streets of Kyoto were packed with people shuffling into the shops and businesses all over.
土方さんの反対を押し切って巡察に同行してるんだってこと忘れないでね。
ごめんなさい. I was distracted by all the people. The city's filled with so much more cheer. I guess I'm just gonna help myself. Okita's eyes twinkled and he smiled ferociously, and I could sense him
まあ
relax.
祇園祭りも近いしね。街が浮き立ってるのは僕も否定しないけど、でも上位派浪士たちの動きが怪しいのは本当だから。僕たちから離れて勝手に動くのだけはなしね。
Hey. We walked down Kyoto's largest street alongside the First Division. No one came within a few yards of us. They stepped away the moment their eyes caught the bright blue of the Shinsei's Gumi jacket. I noticed this phenomenon briefly when I first joined the Shinsei Gumi on their rounds, but it was clear the people of Kyoto feared them. Excuse me. I pause every so often to ask someone of the less intimidated passerby if they've seen my father. I'm looking for someone. He's in his 40s, speaks with an Edo accent. He's a doctor. Friendly, bald man. After a few hours of searching, I met someone who claimed to see a man matching my description.
そんな雰囲気の人ならしばらく前にそこのマス屋さんで見かけたよ。
As he spoke, he pointed towards a store selling wood and charcoal. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okita caught my eye and gave me a stern look. He looked as if he was going to reprimand me when...
貴様ら浪人か。手取りなら判明を答えろ。
The cry came from the Shinsei-gumi soldier, and Okita turned, his lips tightening into a thin line.
ああ。よりにもよってこんなところで騒ぎを起こすなんてね。
Hot. His hands dropped to his swords as he ran towards the commotion. Handfuls shrieked and ran like leaves before a gale. Oh! In the sudden press of fleeting citizen, I found myself pulled away from Okita. For a moment I panicked, but realized that perhaps it was best. If I stayed close, he would have been forced to keep attention on me. I hoped to avoid distracting him. I hid in an alley to watch, and I could return to the first division once the tension
坊
simmered.
ちゃん、そこの坊ちゃん。巻き込まれんよううちの店へ入りや。
Huh? I paused for a moment. A strange man was inviting me to his house, his store. Strange on the face of it, perhaps, but I was more many taps to be on my guard, but politely refused when I realized it was the store to which the man pointed earlier. Excuse me, but is this the Masu?
へえ、そうどす。
So this is... Right! You see, I'm looking for someone and...
キエモンさん、このガキさっきまで新選組の沖田と一緒にいたぜ。
No, I'm not with the Shinsei-gumi.
新選組だと逃げろ。
No! It's not like that. I'm just looking for someone. If I had been walking with them, the reaction of the store customers seems excessive.
君って本当に運がないよね。ある意味こいつらも僕もだけど。
He gave a small concerned shrug and kept through the door of the shop. Asu exploded with the clang of blades, men swearing, scrambling across furniture. What is the meaning of this? What on earth just happened? When we returned to Shinsei headquarters, Sana had a number of less than pleasant words. We kneeled for some time as the colonel berated us before Okita finally spoke up.
そんなに怒ることないじゃないですか。僕たちは長州の患者を捕まえてきたわけだし。
When the fight was over, we discovered a massive armed cache and confiscated the entire thing. No one bothered to explain what was happening, however, and I was utterly lost.
怒ることではない。沖田君は面白いことを言いますね。
I love him.
マスやキエモンと身分を偽っている人間は長州の患者である古高俊太郎だった。我々新選組はその事実を知った上で彼を泳がせていた。
その通りですけど、でも捕まえるしかない状況だったんですよ。
まあ、宗司の言う通り、ある意味では大手柄だろうな。
でも古高を泳がせるために頑張ってた島田君や山崎君に悪いと思わないわけ？
Corners of Heisuke's mouth twitched into a smile, but Shimada interrupted him to continue.
東堂君のお気持ちもありがたいですが、我々のことはあまり気にしないでください。
The guy with the purple eyes. He's one of the guy in the video, the opening.
自分らも古高に対して手詰まりでしたから、沖田君たちが動いてくれて助かりましたよ。
Hamazaki nodded in
古
silent
高捕
agreement.
獲はすでに済まされた事柄です。その結果に不満を述べるつもりはありません。
お前ら首相な奴らだね。それに引き換え掃除は。
Didn't seem like Akura was going to let Okita get away without rubbing his mistake in his face. Both Kai Shimada and Suzumu Yamazaki serve as Shinsegumi officers and spies under Hijikata. Aside from the captains who stayed in the Yagi residence, they are some of the few people entrusted with the knowledge of my situation. In other words, these men are highly valued officers within the organization. Despite their resounding support, I felt a rush of guilt sweep over me and I spoke up. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Some Ronin were causing trouble, so I tried to get out of the way, got separated from Okita and the crowd, and it didn't go right back at him. Before I really realized what's going on, someone just started shouting at me.
君への監督不行き届きは誰の責任ですか？
He glared at me, his eyes hard and angry, my throat tightly clenched with dryness.
一番組組長が監視対象を見失うなど、まったく情けないこともあったものですね。
When I first met him, Sadan had been nice, if a little quiet. After his injury, however, it was as if he can become an entirely different man.
外出を許可したのは俺だ。こいつらばかり責めないでやってくれ。
Sadan looked up as Hichikata walked into the room. He gave the commander a tight wry smile, but got only a peaceful, impartial glance in return.
土方さんが来たってことは、古高の拷問も終わったのか？
ああ。風の強い日を選んで京の都に火を放ち、あわよくば天皇を長州へ連れ出す。それが奴らの目的だ。
His voice was calm and measured, but we all felt the import of his words.
町に火を放つだ？長州の奴ら、頭のネジが緩んでるんじゃねえの？ それ単に天使様を誘拐するってことだろ？尊王とか言ってるくせにやることはめちゃくちゃだよな。
何にせよ見過ごせるものではない。
奴らの会合は今夜行われる可能性が高い。お前たちも出動準備を整えておけ。
承知しました。
副長。よっしゃ、腕が鳴るぜ。
Even though each man displayed his professionalism differently, they were all clearly prepared. As they quieted down, Hichikata turned towards me as if he had only just noticed my
それ
presence.
から行動さんの件だ。西国の者と一緒にマスヤに来たことがあるらしい。
What?
今日で見たっていう話は本当だったってことだ。
My father with someone from the West? My father went missing in Kyoto. How could he be with someone from the West? But no one had an answer for me. Preparation for the raid began immediately. Within moments, the compound was like a beehive, with soldiers and officers running back and forth. The tension felt like thick enough to cut with a knife. I found it affecting me despite my best efforts. My encounter at Masu created some of their current headache, and I hope to make up for it. It became clear to me that I have very little to offer when it comes to preparing for a raid. At the end of the day, all I could do was stay quietly to the side to avoid being a burden. Just then I heard someone's voice out of the blue.
動ける大使が足りていない。近藤さんの隊は10名で動くそうだ。
俺ら土方さんの隊は24人だったか。大使の半分が腹痛って笑えねえよな。
That's right. There were a handful of men who were bedridden from a swift food poisoning epidemic, leaving them shorthand in battle. They planned on dividing the troops in half. When the troops will go to Igeda in, Hichikata troops will head to Shikoku in.
そういえば、あいつらは使わないのか。夜の任務だし、うってつけだと思うんだが。
Done?
お前らが減らしたけど、まだ何人か残ってるはずだろう。
しばらく実戦から遠ざけるらしい。調整に手間取っていると聞いたが、血に触れるたび俺たちの指示も聞かずに狂われてはたまらん。
What? I swear I heard something before a reaction to blood, but there's something I was not supposed to hear. The two men hadn't realized I was listening to their conversation. But it was crucial I didn't say anything.
奴らも浮かばれねえな。戦うために選んだ道だろうに。
3、浮かばれないという表現は死んだ者に対して使うものだろう。
ああ、表向きは死んだことになってるが、本当は死んじゃいないしな。
There was no doubt what I was hearing was not meant for my ears. I shoved my finger into my ears and closed my eyes tightly. The best I could do was to make sure I didn't hear anything else.
雪村君、こんなところで何をしているのかね。
My eyes flew open to see Kondo in front of me. I couldn't just sit there. Told him the truth. I felt so useless and left my room to find some way to
なるほ
help.
どな。君の気持ちはよくわかる。打ち入り前で皆も高揚しているしな。
Hey, excited. Or like bloodthirsty, to be honest.
どうかね。君も一緒に来るか。
What? That was not what I expect him to say. Me go on a raid with you. I don't know what I
実
could.
は腹を壊して動けない大使が多くてな。人手が足りんのだ。伝令役になってもらえるとありがたいんだが。もちろん君に無理はさせん。
You raise a good point. That I mentioned I remember hearing Kondo's troop only had 10 people on it. Well, alright. If I'll just be a messenger. His face split into a grin and found myself on the way to Ikeda in company their raid. Kondo's presence was relieving, and his good nature gave me comfort in asking a question. Kondo, your uniform's a bit different than one of your other men wear. The Shisegumi unique light blue uniform made it so anyone in Kyoto would recognize him. However, Kondo's uniform was white, almost cream, setting him apart from his men.
これか？暗いところに押し入った時にすぐに仲間だとわかるようにな。
I see. I didn't know the corps uniform came in many varieties. The usual uniform was well-fitting. The color stood out, but this wet uniform was more elegant. I smiled while I looked at this uniform and braced myself for what was to come. Hour of the Dog. After we arrived at Ikeda, I was sent off on several short errands nearby. I returned to hear Nagakura talking to Okita.
こっちが当たりか。まさか長州藩邸のすぐ裏で会合とはな。
僕は最初からこっちだと思ってたけど、奴らは今までも頻繁に池田屋を使ったし。
Loved in your outfit.
だからって古高が捕まった晩にわざわざ普段と同じ場所で集まるか？普通は場所を変えるだろう。
じゃあ奴らには常識がなかったんだね。実際こうして池田屋で会合してるわけだし。
Nagakura and Okita's conversation was very lighthearted, which didn't quite suit the subject matter. Perhaps the Chosu was trying to trick the Shinsegumi, I certainly would have known. Whatever the reason for their behavior, however, neither Nagakura or Okita seemed worried. Eisuke noticed me as I approached and dropped over.
どうだった？会津藩とか諸次第の役人まだ来てなかった。
To be honest, I didn't really see anyone nearby.
日暮れ頃にはとっくに連絡してたってのに、まだ動いてないとか何やってんだよ。落ち着けよ、エスケ。
The larger man smacked Heisuke playfully on the shoulder with a bark of
あんな
laughter.
やつら役に立たねえんだから。来ても来なくても一緒だろ。だけどさ、新八さん。俺らだけで突入とか無謀だと思わないの？
Are they gonna get wounded? No. Heisuke frowned and Takeda, who was on standby behind Heisuke, nodded in agreement.
この人
Oh,
数
this
で
guy.
踏み込むなど無謀にも程がある。ここは会津藩の援軍を待つべきかと。
武田君がそう言うならわかった。
わかった。
もう少しだけ待ってみよう。
Okay, we're waiting, I guess. But no matter how long we waited, the officials never came. Hour of the Boar. Looked up at the sky. The moon inched itself further across the sky since we arrived at Ikeda.
さすがにこれはちょっと遅すぎるな。
近藤さん、どうします？これでみすみす逃がしちゃったら無様ですよ。
The chief had been quiet all this time, but when Okita addressed him, he finally stood up to
これ以
speak.
上は待てん。宗司、長倉君、東堂君、俺についてきてくれ。
Okita nodded quietly but firmly.
では私は表口を固めますから
皆さんご存分にどうぞ。
皆さんご存知どうぞ。
は？武田さん来ないつもりかよ。
いいからいいから。中が暗くて間違って切られても困るし。あ、こっちが間違って切っちゃうかも。
沖田君、それはどういうことかな？
まあまあ、突っ込むのは気心が知れた方がいいだろう。というわけだから、武田さんは外を頼むぜ。
雪村君、少し池田屋から離れていてくれるか。
はい。
ここは危険だ。老子が降りてくるかもしれん。もっとも逃がすつもりはないがな。
He stood up and smiled curtly and ran to the inn.
会津中将をわずかに老子隊新選組、戦議のため宿内を改める。
His declaration was met with cacophony of yells and screams erupting from the inn.
わざわざ大声で討ち入りを知らせちゃうとか、すごく近藤さんらしいよね。
いいんじゃねえの？正々堂々名乗りを上げる。
自分をわざわざ不利な状況に追い込むのが新八さんの言う定石？
Heisuke and Nagakura grinned at one another as they sauntered towards the inn.
御用改めである。手向かいすれば容赦なく切り捨てる。
Then the battle began in earnest. The yells of men, the clang of swords filled the air, rolling up through the door and windows of the inn. I hear the feet pounds upstairs, screams of men dying, wet thud of bodies dropping to the floor. Well, there was someone, but all the men who come with the captain ran around the back couldn't hear Nagakura. Takeda, on the other hand, was stationed outside to arrest anyone trying to flee the building. What should I do? The only person left to go help them was me. But even if I did, what could I do? All of a sudden I heard Tondo. Nagakura called out from somewhere else in the inn. No! Oh no, no! I know decided to enter the slaughterhouse with men killing one another, but even I did, I know just but my skill with the blade. I was sure to be killed before I even drawn it, but I could hardly stand around doing nothing. Perhaps I couldn't fight, I could rescue the wounded, find them, and carry them out of the inn. Made up my mind, stilled myself, and ran inside. It was pitch black, the smell of blood hit me in the stomach like a fist filling the air. There was a dark lumps of the floor everywhere, the bodies of fallen men. Where was Okita executed? It sounded like a good idea at the time, but as I look around the carnival house, I realized there's no way I could carry two men outside. What should I do? Look for Okita! Sorry, Heisuke! Said I had to look for Okita. I know it caused trouble for him during the noon patrols, but he never called me out for it. Since only today I returned to return the favor. A Ronin came out of nowhere, falling down the stairs screaming. My Kodati was in my hand before I realized that I dropped it. Then Kondo's sword slid through his heart. Ah, I just watched a man die.
君が来たのか。他の大使は何をやってるんだ。
He did his best to act calmly, but I could tell my appearance had both surprised and worried
すまん
him.
な。掃除を見てやってくれるか。2階にいるのは掃除と老子が1人だけだ。掃除に限って負けはせんだろうが、手傷を負うかもしれん。
Yes, sir. And I quickly ran off into the carnage. He's upstairs. My bay! Took them two at a time, landed on the top floor. It didn't take long to spot him. Oh no! He's fighting this guy? Only a few feet from me, Okita was battling a Ronin. I felt my stomach lurch. No, Okita, don't die on me. The coat rang of steel against steel through the air. Their blades flashed lines of light in darkness. The stranger in his eyes narrowed and his mouth curved into a smug smile. I've seen Okita train with soldiers. His close with the blade had been clear, but this Ronin, the way he dodged, parried, slowly drove Okita back, seemed almost effortless. The blood and violence that was choking the inn had no effect on him, it seems. He was so peaceful, in fact, that he hardly looked like he belonged in the middle of that carnage.
悪いけど返せないんだ。僕たちの敵には死んでもらわなくちゃ。
Smile split his face for a hot second, then he launched himself to the Ronin. Their swords slammed together. To my untrained eye, it looks like as the Ronin was a southpaw swordsman. His sword moved in large, crude arcs, so Okita responded with skill and finesse. In contrast of skill, Okita would have been clear winner, but as their blood sprung apart, it was always Okita who found himself pushed back. The Ronin's sword was heavy but fast. It was clear he was Okita's superior in raw power. Summer heat had turned the air thick and humid. I could barely breathe. Sweat poured down my spine, beaded on my face as quickly as I could wipe it off. I distract the Ronin! It's not a great idea, but yeah, let's do it. Nearby a bowl sat unattended to the floor. I could give that to distract the Ronin briefly. It could give Okita the opening he needed. With every ounce of struck I had, I hurled the bowl straight at the Ronin. Oh! Almost without thinking, he turned his blade and smashed the bowl to the floor. The moment of destruction gave Okita his opening. He leapt forward. Even caught off guard, the Ronin managed to get his blade up in time. The blow sent him stumbling back a step or two, an angry look on his face. As Okita lifted his sword towards his opponent, he whispered in a voice I could only hear. Baby! Yes!
いい子だね。後でいっぱい褒めてあげる。
いい子だね。Hey! I knew no one was the time to bring it up, but I'm glad I've been able to. The strange Ronin sword whipped through the air, a little more than silvery burr. No, Okita! Okita accepted the blow with the sword. However, the opening blow from above was too powerful. Okita stumbled ever so slightly, but the man did not miss his opportunity. The Ronin foot slammed the center of Okita's chest, source of his tremendous strength apparently, extended to his leg as well as his sword arm. I heard a wet crunch. No! Okita tumbled across the floor of the room. When he stopped, I saw him grip his chest and cough. Okita! I leapt across the room. Are you alright? His voice was tight with pain. The most he could manage was labored gasps and wet, tearing coughs. Okita was in no condition to fight. I struggled to move myself under his arm to lift him up. I glared at the strange Ronin.
お前も邪魔立てする気か。俺の相手をするというのは受け入れたぜ。
I watched the tip of his blade drift up to me. With a groan of pain, Okita lifts himself up and stumbled between me and the Ronin. No! Okita, you can't! No, babe, no! He's so hard. There was a chance. He had broken bones, and if he was coughing blood, then his internal organs could be damaged as well. He could barely stand, let alone fight, and he was making no attempts at hiding it. But he stood
あ
firm.
んたの相手は僕だよね。この子には手を出さないでくれるかな。
No! The Ronin sneered.
その負傷で何を。今の貴様なぞ盾の役にも立つまい。
黙れようるさいな。僕は役立たずなんかじゃない。
大丈夫よ、Okita ya. New flecks of blood appeared as he shouted, "Stop! You're still coughing up blood!" The Ronin regarded his with cool, disinterested eyes for a few moments, and in one smooth motion lifted his sword, slid it into his scabbard. What?
会合が終わるとともに俺の務めも終わっている。多少は面白かったぞ新選組。だがあの程度の腕でいい気になるな。
His aloofness was amplified by the satisfaction he drew with his every word. He placed his foot out the window, cackling to himself as he jumped through gracefully. Did he just run? If he hadn't run, he was letting us go.
くそ。僕はまだ戦えるのに。
大丈夫よ、Okita. 大丈夫。Okita. His voice was weak. Why did you do that? Okita turned his head to look at me. You always said you'd kill me if I got in your way. So why had he protected me? He raised his shaky brow.
そういえば、なんでだろう。
Suki! His words were already slurring.
僕にもよくわからないけど。でも次は、ちゃんと殺さないと。
Okita? His eyes fluttered, his body folded as he collapsed to the floor. Huh? I've been so worried, but Okita hadn't noticed. The sound of screaming men and cluttering words had disappeared. Is it over? Not Daijobu. He's not Daijobu. The moment the words were out of my mouth, I heard the sound of labored footsteps on the stairs. Is Heisuke okay? We weren't there to help him. Sorry, Heisuke. I choose my man. Finally, the sun rose from the black sky. The raid itself had lasted only 2 hours. But for me, at least, it felt far longer. There had been 20 Imperial nationalists at Ikeda Inn. And Shisegumi had killed 7 Ronin, injured 4 more. I learned later that, with the help of Aizu Domain and Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they arrested 23 people. The owner of Ikeda Inn had also been arrested to try helping out the Chosu rebel escape. The Shisegumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against superior numbers in enemy territory. They paid dearly for it. Okita had taken a blow to the chest, lost consciousness. Eisuke had been cut on the forehead, and the bleeding refused to stop. No! Nagakura had injured his left hand. One of the Shisegumi soldiers lost his life at the rear entrance, and the others were severely injured there as well. It didn't seem likely that they would survive. The Kyoto Military and Judiciary Commissioner also fought the Chosu Ronin. With their successful resolution of the battle at the Ikeda Inn, the Shisegumi had at last made a name of themselves. It looked as though peace in Kyoto had been protected. If I could have imagined what the ultimate result of their victory would be. No, my boys. I don't remember which is Nagakura. Is it Shinpaichi? Or is it the red guy? I don't remember. 1864, July. Hope they're okay. End of July 1864. Weeks passed since the battle of the Ikeda Inn. In the meantime, the Shisegumi grew stricter during their rounds to arrest the numerous outlaw Ronin that had escaped from Ikeda Inn. Rumors surfaced of extremists who were plotting to exact revenge to the Shisegumi. Additionally, there were other problems occurring with warriors spanning from other domains, making things tense around the headquarters. Things were finally settling down. As a result of my efforts during the battle, they grew more encouraging of my involvement. The Shisegumi allowed me to sweep the area in front of the headquarters on my own. One day I was cleaning in the courtyard with a broom when I heard the gentle footsteps approaching me.
すみません。こちらが新選組の屯所ですか?
Ah, hey. The voice came from behind me, so I was caught off guard before answering.
君は?
Huh? Fuck are you? Hichigata showed up suddenly, as if telepathically he knew I was speaking to someone. Oh, Hichigata, this man is... Before I could finish my sentence, the man ran towards Hichigata.
あ、やっぱりトシさん。八郎です。お久しぶりです。
おめえは八郎か。なんだってこんなところにいるんだ。
What the F? When Hichigata realized who he was, his eyes grew wide.
驚きました。幕命で教視察に来てるんです。それより新選組って本当にトシさんたちのことだったんですね。
This man's voice is so good though.
この目で見るまでは信じられなかったけど。
I love his voice, goddamn. I'm sorry.
おめでとうございます。本当に侍になれたんですね。
It's so sweet, it's so cute, it's so soft. I love it.
おい、冷やかすなよ。まだ扱いは浪人と同じなんだからよ。
でも侍になりたいって夢が叶ったじゃないですか。
冷やかすなって言ってんだろ。
キュリー。
いいえ、江戸じゃ泣く子も黙る新選組といったらとても有名なんですよ。それに池田屋の話も聞いています。皆さんとてもご活躍だったみたいですね。
キュリー。
ぼちぼちってところだ。
He's blushing. How very unlike himself, Hichigata seems to be flustered and his cheeks were rosy. Judging from their conversation, it appeared that this gentleman had come to visit Hichigata. The rhythm of their report seems to suggest that they had been friends for quite some time. Once I found out the conversation had come to be a halt, I mustered the courage to speak to Hichigata. Hichigata? May I ask who this is?
そうか。お前は初めてだったな。
まだ名乗っていませんでしたね。 僕伊庭八郎と言います。幕府直参旗本で大番士奥詰役を務めています。
Oh, Chizuru Ikimura.
改めてよろしくお願いします。
Ah, Yarashik. As soon as Iba and I finished our introduction, Hijikata was inclined to get us indoors.
まあ立ち話もなんだ。中に入ってくれ。
I took a tea to the two in the hall. Hijikata told me to remain there, so I decided to listen in.
今日に来たのは奥詰めの仕事ってわけか。ずいぶんと出世したみてえだな。
An okuzume? I listened intently, but subtly since I was unfamiliar with the contents of their
奥
conversation.
詰めってのはな、将軍の身辺を守る奴らのことだ。
Oh, wow. I'm honored to meet such a man.
いえいえ、そんなことありません。父の仕事の縁でたまたまなんです。
But what would bring a man of his stature here, Hijikata? This man Iba was someone who worked directly with the shogun, what an honor. Made no sense why he would interact with the Shinsengumi or why he had business with us.
お前の考えてることはわかるぜ。なんで俺と知り合いかってことだろう。
ごめんなさい。I did my best to nod without offending him.
こいつはな、旗本であると同時に江戸じゃ4本指に入る道場の一つ、新行東流伊庭道場の跡取り息子だ。その伊庭道場と俺たちがいた道場とはそこそこ交流があってな。
ええ、そうなんです。だからトシさんたちがいる今日に来ることになってとても楽しみにしていたんです。
勝手に喜んでろ。だが覚えとけよ、今日はそんなに楽しいところじゃねえからな。
はい、肝に銘じておきます。でもそんなに危険なのに女の子でも大使が務まるんですか？
Ooh, he knows. Iba glanced at me when he asked this question before looking into Hijikata. Guess I cupped my hands over my mouth and Hijikata eyes darted towards me sternly. It would seem Iba picked up on the fact I was female, judging by the interaction.
もしかして秘密だったんですか？
Didn't want to confirm any answers, so I stared towards the mat underneath without speaking.
こいつはちょいと訳ありで預かってて、表向きは男ってことになってる。新選組でも一部の奴らしか知らないことだ。だからここでも下手なことを口にしないで。
わかりました。トシさんがそう言うなら守りますよ。
I love his voice, goddamn. Iba drew Hijikata in closer in jovial manner, and Hijikata blushed at the notion. Yes, gay. No, kidding. Hijikata is normally really uptight, so seeing him behave this way was startling. A lingering suspicion that Hijikata was actually enjoying himself. Gasp. The sin. All the commotion must have alerted the captains because they popped up from nowhere.
おいおい、八郎じゃねえか。
Shinpachi, your arms okay?
聞いたことがある声だと思ったらお前だったのか。
新八さん、原田さん、
原田さん、
それに皆さんもお久しぶりです。
お久しぶりです。Oh my god, his voice.
そうか、お前も今日に来たのか。武者修行か、それとも狂犬物か。
なわけねえし、お偉いさんの護衛とか視察なんだろ。
Hey baby, okay? How's your forehead?
まあ、はい、そういうところです。
あんたが今日
Hey
に
babe, are you okay?
それなりの職務に就いたということか。
He went on plainly in response.
君も今日に来たんだ。ま、死なない程度に気をつけなよ。
助言ありがとう。覚えておきます。
じゃあ今度飲みに行くか。なんなら今からでもいいんだぜ。
Each of the captains surrounded Iba and exchanged words. Most of all, Iba seemed lost in the amount of fun he had while conversing with everyone. Guess he really knew everyone back in Edo. Chikata watched their interaction with warmth in his eyes and muttered.
あいつは旗本で伊庭道場の跡取り息子のくせに何が気に入ったのか知らねえが、俺たちとつるみやがってな。
No one can escape his amiable nature. He seems to be especially fond of Hijikata, though. I couldn't dare say
まあ
that.
ちょっとした顔なじみだ。訪ねてきたら中に通してやってくれ。
はい。 He's cute. I like his voice. I would love to have him. Before we know it, evening had come and Iba told us it was time for him to depart.
それじゃあまたね。
No! Don't go, Iba-san! Hey. His face seems reluctant, if not a little forlorn, and he left the compound. Stared at him as he walked into the distance, until his small figure was removed from my eyes. Iba was a mysterious person. Even if he was someone very important and upper class, he acted with integrity and kindness, commanding a lot of respect from the captains of the Shinsegumi. I did not think there was more like him in the shogunate. We were meeting all the men. All the men. Right. 1864, August. Wow. August 1864. After the fight at the inn, I was able to leave the compound much more often. I suppose what after I'd done, Hichikata thought I earned a little more trust. I didn't feel like I did anything extraordinary, but I wasn't about to look a gift horse in the mouth. I was genuinely happy that the man Hichikata approved of me. On this particular day, I was out on a patrol with Harada in the 10th Division. Excuse me, Harada. The Shinsegumi is out patrolling day and night, right?
ああ、そうだぜ。それがどうかしたのか?
But what exactly that you do? Most of the men of Shinsegumi were intimidating, death-dealing titans. Harada was a rare exception. Warm and friendly.
ま、ピンからキリまで大小様々だな。筋切りや追いはぎはもちろん、食い逃げも捕まえるし、喧嘩も止める。商家を脅して金を奪おうとする奴らも、俺ら新選組が取り締まってるよ。
Wasn't really the answer I expected. I guess Shinsegami's job is closer to a magistrate than I thought. Looking back, I remember how excited they were during the raid. They did at the end was far more intense than their day-to-day work. A little further down the road, a couple of men in Shinsegumi blues were waving at us. Nagakura! I guess our separate rounds brought us to the same spot.
Yo! 親父さんの情報、なんか手に入ったか?
Yeah. Nothing today.
なかなかすんなって。今日がダメでも明日がある。
Yeah, you're right. There was something contagious about his optimism.
で、新八、そっちはどうだ?
いや、なんも。けど、やっぱり町人たちの様子がせわしねえな。
I don't know before, but yeah, he was right. They were acting strange, almost nervous. Looks like they're getting ready to move.
ああ、戦火に巻き込まれる前に今日から避難し始めてるってとこか。
What war? There wasn't a war, was there?
そういや、まだ教えていなかったな。長州の奴らが今日に集まってきてんだよ。その関係で、俺らも警戒強化中ってわけだ。
池田屋の件で長州を怒らせちまったからな。あいつらの仲間から犠牲が出ちまったし、黙ってやれないんだろうよ。
Are Chosuch going to try something again?
さあな。まだはっきりしたことはわからね
え。どっちにせよ、俺たちは俺たちの仕事をする。長州の連中が今日に来ても追い返すだけさ。
Accepted their situation and never complained. A good deal of respect for Harada.
長州と戦か。もしかすると近いうちに上から出動命令が出るかもしれねえな。
You think the Aizu will give you all orders?
ああ、正式に幕府の一部隊として参加することになるかもな。
そんな機会めったにないからな。せっかくだからお前も出てみろ。
What? I was perplexed by his sudden invitation. Does this mean I could march as a member of the Shinsegumi? It seems rather inappropriate for me to ask to participate just for curiosity's sake. Still, I very much hope to help in some way. Or perhaps do something like what I've done at Ikeda Inn. There's also a chance that I become a hindrance as opposed to helping them out. I want to come. When made up, I nodded to Harada. I want to help. I'd like to participate and help in some way.
お前の気持ちよくわかったぜ。
Hey.
もしその時が来たら、お前も参加できるよう俺も応援してやるよ。
Don't I get butterflies? Several days later. Excuse me. carefully lifted the serving of platter with tea from the captain's and went way to the conference room.
すまねえな。ありがとうよ。
すまねえな。そうやってるとまるで故障みたいだな。
I mean, well, I was just a page as far as everyone knew. Thought of correcting crossed my mind, but instead I stayed silent as I passed the tea out.
ありがとう、雪村君。すまないね。こんな仕事まで頼んでしまって。
大丈夫よ。Oh, it's nothing for all when Hijikata's page. Spoke wearily above whisper, but Inoue smiled and nodded at me. Okita took a sip of its tea. A mild grimace flickered across his face. Something wrong with the tea?
ちょっとぬるいかな。人数分のお茶を用意してぬるくなったんだね。君らしいって言えば君らしいけど。
I'm sorry, I'm making you batch right away.
いいって。俺ぬるい方が好きだな。すぐに飲めるし。なあ、はじめくん。
うん、そうだな。こうも暑い日にはぬるめの茶もいいかもしれん。
Was silent for a second before the door slid open and Kondo arrived with a stern look upon his face.
会津藩から正式な要請が下った。ただいまより我ら新選組は総員出陣の準備を開始する。
Oh, dang, guys.
ついに会津藩も我らの働きをお認めくださったのだな。
He looked just as happy as the news as the rest of them. Apparently, getting orders directly from the IZ domain was an occasion for some excitement. Hijikata, however, was the lone exception.
はしゃいでる暇はねえんだ。てめえら、とっとと準備しやがれ。
Sheesh, someone's a sour puss. Okay, babes, no need to be so mad.
長州の奴らはとっくに今日に来てるんだ。俺たちが遅れてどうする。
Hey. Hijikata rebuked the men. The warriors all scattered sequentially to their stations. When it was only the captains and myself remaining in the room, Hijikata vented.
てめえの尻に火がついてから俺らを召喚しても後手だろうがよ。
Thinking about what happened at Ikeda while the Shinigami were fighting hard, the Aizu domain was elsewhere. Came strolling away later at the scene. Remembering the incident, I felt I can understand Hijikata at least to some extent.
沖田君と東堂君は屯所で待機してください。不服でしょうが、私もご一緒しますので。
No, that I would have stayed.
池田屋での負傷が癒えていないように、私の腕も思うように動きませんか。
He rubbed his left arm absently and looked away.
傷が治っていないわけじゃないですけどね、僕の場合。でも確かに本調子じゃないかな。休んでいろって言うなら休みますけど。
俺だって別に大した怪我じゃないけどさ、近藤さんたちが過保護すぎるんだって。
He acted as if he didn't hear Sanan at all while Hisuke pouted.
大した怪我じゃないとか嘘つくなよ。
うわ、そういうこと言う。佐野さんは武士の情けとかないの。
だが悲鳴あげたってのは本当なんだろうなあ。
ちょっとそういうこと聞くなって。黙っててくれたっていいだろ。
He glanced sideways at me. But Hisuke, it's true that your injury is recovered. His bangs hit the scar rather well, but it still looked painful. Nakakura broke the awkward silence.
そういえば、もし新選組が出陣することになったら、一緒に参加したいとか言ってたよな。
Although I told Harada I was in the idea of joining them, it's still a little risky.
おお、そうだな。こんな機会は二度とないかもしれん。
For some reason, Kondo was easy to convince, so expecting him to see easily swayed.
そいつが行くなら俺も行った方がいいんじゃないか。
怪我が治ってねえんだろ。屯所で留守番をしてろって。
よかったじゃねえか。
Are you sure you'll be alright? Ichikata sat on the side at the sight of my reservation, which was understandable.
今度も無事で済む保証はねえんだ。お前は屯所でおとなしくしてろ。
I will stay with Okita-kun.
君は新選組の足を引っ張るつもりですか。遊びで同行していいものではありませんよ。
I mean, with Sanan's also fine.
三男総長、それは彼女が迷惑をかけなければ同行を許可するという意味の発言です。
Oh, but Hachime could. Oh god, I'm so confused. I'm like Saito standing up for me. So that seemed nearly as surprised as I
ま
was.
さか斎藤君まで彼女を参加させたいというつもりですか。
Saito simply
彼
shrugged.
女は池田屋事件において働きのみを評価するのであれば一概に足手まといとも言えないかと。
Never in a million years I would have imagined that Saito might have a word of praise for me. I grew wide with elation and Kondo nodded in agreement.
よし、わかった。君の参加に関しては俺が全責任を持とう。
San didn't seem convinced. Look around the room until my eyes met Okita.
戦場に行くんだって分かってるなら、あとは君の好きにすればいいと思うよ。
Looked like I wasn't able to get any help from Okita, who looked nonplussed either way. Perhaps I would to help them out, like I had during the Battle of Ikeda Inn. I nodded. Yeah, I'd like to participate. No! Okita-kun! Okay, fine. Fine. I'll join. But then everything was a blur. As quickly as we could, we prepared for the battle and marched to the Fushimi Magistrate Office. So a number of Kyoto Judiciary Commissioners gathered as well, in preparation for the battle with the Chosu. Walking proudly in front of the men, Kondo approached the government official near the gate.
会津中将松平片森様をお預かり新選組。
Katamori Matsuidara was the lord of the Aizu domain, also the Kyoto military commissioner, which made him a very important person. His name would have been immediately recognized. The man standing near the gate looked slightly taken aback by the mention of the Shinsengumi.
妖精だと。そのような連絡は届いておらん。
Wow. Oh, that didn't make any sense? What? From sensing my confusion, Saito leaned over and whispered under his breath.
内輪の情報伝達さえままならんとは戦況によほどの混迷があると見える。
Do you mean Choshu is overpowering the shogunate
そう
forces?
とも限らん。しかし敵方に翻弄されてはいるのだろうな。
This could be tricky. The Judiciary Commissioner and the Military Commissioner had similar organization, but they operate very differently. The Military Commissioner office was under jurisdiction of the Aizu domain, while the Gowana domain controlled by the Judiciary. Honestly, all of this reading and all of these hard words is making me tongue-tied. I didn't fully understand the relationship between each domain, but so far as I knew, Aizu and Gowana weren't quite fond of one another.
しかし我らには会津藩からの正式な書状がある。上の者に取り継いでいただければ。
取り継ごうとも回答は同じだ。さあ帰れ。身分ごときに用はないわ。
Wow, bitch. Did they ask for the Shinsegumi's help? I felt Harada's hand on my shoulder and turned to look up at him.
まあ、お前が落ち込むことじゃないさ。俺たちの扱いなんざいつもこんなもんだ。
Oh, he used a spear. This is so galling. I was truly a member of Shinsegumi, but even so, after living with the Shinsegumi men and watching how they work, I couldn't bear to see how they were treated, which is why this felt so wrong to me. Everyone in the Shinsegumi has worked so hard to maintain peace in Kyoto. How could these people, who are supposed to be our allies, turn us away without a second thought?
ありがとうよ。だが、ここはこらえてくれ。
はい。
俺らが諸次第に対して下手に騒げば、会津の顔を潰しちまうかもしれないしな。
はい。Oh. The Koana would only need to complain that Shinsegumi had showed them proper respect to make trouble for the Aizu. All of the men, including Harada, understood what needed to be done and they endured.
局長、諸次第では話になりません。奉行所を離れ、会津藩と合流してはいかがでしょうか。
So the suggestion Koana was rudely interrupted by Takeda.
ここを離れるだと？戦場で軍令を無視して何とするつもりだ。
Shut the fuck up, Takeda.
局長、戦場では伝令が交錯するものです。自ら動くなど愚の骨頂。今はこの場で待機すべきものと考えます。
ここが我らに与えられた陣ならば、その話わからんでもない。だが今は我が新選組の身体に関わる問題でもある。
君は新選組の戦奉行であるこの私に向かって 意見を言うつもりか？
Shut the fuck up, man.
いや、斉藤君の言うことにも一理ある。
Kono nodded deeply as he glanced at Saito.
我が新選組はこれより守護職が設営している陣を探す。
With that, Shisegumi is off to find soldiers of the Aizu domain. Okay. Night had fallen by the time we arrived at Kujo Beach. After leaving the Fushimi magistrate office, we made for Aizu Manor. Upon arriving, we relayed our previous encounter and asked for new orders. The manor official we met directed us to Kujo Beach, which we did. However...
新選組が我々会津藩と共に待機だと。そんな連絡は受けていない。すまんが藩邸へ問い合わせてくれるか。
Nagakura seems to tolerate no more of this.
あ？お前らんとこの藩邸が新選組は九条河原へ行けって言ったんだよ。その俺らを適当に扱うってのは、新選組を呼びつけたお前らの上司をないがしろにする行為だって分かってんのか？それは私に言われても。
Man flinched and shivered, then fell silent. Kendo did his best to assume a professional air. There was no hiding his massive grin.
陣営の責任者と話がしたい。上に取り次いでいただけますかな。
Okay. No longer playing this weird tango. Alas, after a great deal of trouble, we allowed to remain with the troops at Kujo Beach. Chief of the canton let the rest of us speak with Aizu commanders. They returned sometime later, looking tired and drained. Inoue, who had gone with them, also wore a bitter sort of half smile.
どうやらここの会津藩の兵たちは主戦力じゃなくただの予備兵らしい。会津藩の主だった兵たちはハマグリ御門の方を守っているそうだ。
They're treating the Shinsegumi like reserves?
屯所に来た伝令の話じゃ、一刻を争う事態だったんじゃねえのか？
状況が動き次第、即座に戦場へ馳せる。今の俺たちにできるのはそれだけだ。
So all we can do is wait. There was a chance that the call could come on at night, so the men stayed awake, ready to act.
休むなら言えよ。俺の膝くらいなら貸してやる。
Hey. Oh, 大丈夫. Harada laughed as I shook my head. It wouldn't be fair for me to be the one to sleep. The men had to remain alert, anticipating that they could face death at any moment. I would want to sleep. Anxiety wrapped around me until I slept near dawn. Men, however, were vigilant through the night. But as I drifted in and out of consciousness, I could see them nearby, persisting against the night. The break of dawn burned my eyes as I heard it. A cannon! Crack of gunshot tore through the morning air. In the distance, I heard men shouting. The clang of metal. The fighting had begun. The captains looked at one another and nodded.
Ikuzo!
Ikuzo! I stared at him for a moment, perhaps not yet fully awake until I understood what he was saying. Hi! A quick nod, I readied myself to go then.
待たんか新選組。我々は待機を命じられているのだぞ。
待てだと。
Let's go, babe. When during our lengthy march the day before, I never seen Hijikata mad. Maybe because of his position as commander, he was afraid to express himself when his temper flared up. Looks like it reached his limit. Normally, he left the yelling to Nagakura and stayed patient when speaking with army officials. This time, however, he finally had enough.
てめえらは待機するために待機してんのか？御所を守るために待機してたんじゃねえのか？長州の野郎どもが攻め込んできたら援軍に行くための待機だろうが。
しかし出動命令はまだ。
Ichikata was in no mood for excuses.
自分の仕事に一かけらでも誇りがあるなら、てめえらも待機だうんぬん言わずに動きやがれ
I love him, Stan. Without even waiting for a response, Ichikata spun around and stalked off fuming. Where are we going? I didn't dare raise my voice above a whisper, but I asked Saito, who was walking near me.
敵が確実にいる場所、ハマグリ御門を目指す。
Hamaguri? You mean where Aizu's main force is protecting, right?
ハマグリ御門では激しい戦闘が始まっているだろう。あんたも今のうちに気を引き締めておけ。
はい。Hijikata fury seems to rouse the Aizu reserve, who up to this point seemed flustered by the threat of conflict watching the Shinsegumi march. At the end, they followed Shinsegumi to the Hamaguri gate. Yo, fuck y'alls. We're ready to fight. For long we arrived. Oh my gosh. The gate was pockmarked with scores of bullets everywhere. Dead, dying soldiers littered the ground. The acrid stink of firearms hung in the air. Even though I tried to prepare myself mentally for what lay before me, my heart shattered from the traces of war occurring ahead. The enemy, however, was nowhere to be seen. We have arrived too late. The battle was already over. After a moment of stunned silence, several of our men were dispatched by Hijikata to determine what happened. Then Kondo sighed.
しかし天使様の御所に討ち入るなど
やっていることがよくわからんね。長州は尊王派のはずなんだがな。
Yeah, Kondo simply noted. The Chosu dare find himself among those who revere the emperor, yet they attack his home? Didn't make sense to me. Nevertheless, the damage was done. I was in the middle of pondering their reasons when Saito returned
夜
to
半
me.
から朝方にかけて蛤御門へ押しかけた長州勢は会津と薩摩の兵力により
The forces standing against them were too much for the Chosu, who were forced to retreat. The poor Hijikata monks curled in the
薩
grain.
摩が会津の手助けか。世の中変われば変わるもんだな。あんなに仲が悪かったはずなのに。いや、長州が共通の敵となっただけか。
Their Satsuma and the domain had been on the best terms. I thought that they outsmarted the family domain and allied with the imperial court to expel foreigners. I recall my father telling me that they were not much different than the Chosu. Unlike the Chosu, however, they'd gone war with a foreign force and suffered devastating loss. Following their defeat, I learned that Satsuma began to reconsider their nationalistic stance. However, there were only rumors, and what had come to pass had yet fully determined.
土方さん、公家御門の方にはまだ長州の奴らが残ってるらしいぜ。
Oh, hi, boy! Chikata's expression changed as he considered Hanada's words. As if he could open his mouth to speak, Yamasaki
副
appeared.
長今回の御所襲撃の中心人物らが天王山に撤退しているそうです。
Mount Tenno was located between Kyoto and Osaka. Supposedly, they're in the middle of escaping from Fushimi towards Osaka. After hearing the report from both Harada and Yamazaki, Hijikata contemplated deeply. The Kondo was recognized as the formal head of Shinsengumi. I learned from everyone that all major decisions were deferred to Hijikata. This was no exception. I could all see all the eyes were on him. I silent for a moment, then I saw his mouth curve in small
てめえら、今から忙しくなるぞ。原田、太陽率いて公家御門へ向かい、長州の残党どもを追い返せ。
あいよ。
Yo!
斉藤と山崎は状況の確認を頼む。当初の予定通り、この蛤御門の守備に当たれ。
承知。はい。
それから大将、あんたには大仕事がある。手間だろうが、会津の上層部に掛け合って、追悼の許可をもらってきてくれ。
長州軍の追悼だな。
天王山に向かった奴ら以外にも敗山兵が商家に押し狩りしながら落ち延びるんだろうよ。追悼するなら俺らも京を離れることになる。その許可をもらいに行けるのはあんただけだ。
Shigumi were entrusted with the protection of Kyoto. This war was aiding for the Aizu, then they had more than just guard the gate. Leaving our post, however, to chase the Chosu troops meant that we needed permission that military commissioner, meaning the Aizu.
なるほどな。局長である俺が行けば、きっと守護職も取り合ってくれるだろう。
After what we gone through the day before, I imagined Kondo's task would be an easy one. Still, the representative was anyone other than Kondo, Aizu would be unlikely to grant the request, let alone entertain the notion of a meeting.
源さんも守護職邸に行く近藤さんと同行して大将が暴走しないように。
あいよ、任されました。
Another laugh ran through the soldiers. Kondo's mouth twisted into a wry sort of grin. Rose was not denied because he knew he might go a little crazy.
残りの者は俺と共に天王山へ向かう。それから。
He looked directly at me. I was a warrior, no? Did I have political ties? Chigata didn't know what to do with me. Suddenly I felt very much like a dead weight.
好きな場所に同行しろ。だが、近藤さんについていくのはなしだ。
By bitches, I'm going with Hajime. Alright. Kondo was within the leaders of Aizu. If I joined him, there would be nothing for me. Any options for what I could do? Ichigata would be pursuing the leaders of the Chosu attack towards Tenno Mountain. Sato was staying Hamugari Gate to protect it to gather information. Hara and his men would be going to Kuge to stop the attack on Imperial State. Where should I go? Hamaguri Gate! I decided to remain at Hamaguri Gate with Saito. Before long, the rest of Shinsengumi was gone. It's time for us to begin our own mission.
まずは新選組の者として会津の責任者へ挨拶が必要か。
Hey, in all that excitement, I completely forgot that Shinsengumi were ordered to stay with the reserve. Instead, we chosen to march to battle. Saito was probably right to try to smooth things over with the Aizu as soon as possible.
よろしければ自分が行きます。
Hey.
上層部も混乱していますから、今回の我々の行動を咎めることもないと思います。
わかった。会津藩の対応は山崎に一任する。問題が生じたなら俺を呼んでくれ。
He's so hot. Bye. Yamazaki bowed once and turned on his heel and disappeared. Bye, babe. The area near Hamaguri Gate was filled with warriors. Let's see some men from the Aizu domain and perhaps some men from Satsuma as well. They appear to be arguing over something. Been looking around the gate to get a lay of the land when we sensed something unpleasant and went to investigate. That was when we found the confrontation between Aizu and Satsuma. What the fuck are they arguing about? I'm sorry, my language.
おそらくは手柄の取り合いだろう。愚かなことだ。
Oh. The words were barely out of my mouth when one of the Satsuma men noticed
何
us.
かと思えば新選組ではないか。こんな者どもまで招集していたとは。
Fuck off, bitch!
やはり会津藩はふぬけばかりだな。浪人の手を借りねば戦うこともできんのか？
What? I could see the faces of Shinsengumi stiffen. More than one hand moved towards his sword. Saito, however, was impeccable as ever.
よまいごとに耳を貸すな。ただ己の務めを果たせ。
So, listen to your commander, bitches. Look at him. Hot. He swept his cool gaze slowly over the man, looking each man in the eye. They shifted restlessly, but their hands dropped from their swords.
己薩摩、我が会津を愚弄するつもりか？
His face was bright red, his sword shook as he held it at ready. Was it something done soon? The sword was likely to start spilling blood. Before anyone of the Satsuma could respond, a tall man slapped through them and out in the space between two factions.
なんだ、貴様が相手になるか？
With a yell, the soldier threw himself forward, raising his sword to anticipate a deadly cut. Saito dashed forward almost too fast to see, stopped before the charging man.
やめた方がいい。あんたとそのものでは腕が違いすぎる。
Let's go, Hajime!
池田屋では迷惑をかけましたな。確か東堂という名の青年にお会いていただきましたが。
Heisuke? What?
怪我の治りが良くないのであれば、加減ができずにすまなかったと伝えてください。
Wait. I'm confused. Aren't you our team? What?
池田屋で平助を倒したのはあんたか。なるほど。それならば合点が行く。
If Sato had heard the man's apology, he showed no sign of it.
大方薩摩藩の密偵として、あの夜も長州勢の動きを探っていたのだろう。
The man simply shrugged and tilted his head to the side, almost quizzically. Saito took a step towards him. Hot. Let's go. Ah! The tip of Saito's sword was only a hair's breadth from the man's forehead. He drew it so fast, saw no blur of silver as it left the scabbard. I'm pretty sure the man glanced down at Saito.
あんたは新選組にあだをなした。俺から見れば平助の仇ということになる。
Hot.
しかし、今の私には君たち新選組と戦う理由がありません。
I wonder if we went to Todo, we would have like, you gasp! I guess if I'm going with Hajime, I'll probably see the yellow guy, right? Replied as calmly as if they had been enjoying tea together. Saito said nothing, his sword did not move. Saito really that angry? I could certainly see why he would have been. This was the time to settle grudges. Saito was tough man to read, wasn't good to do. Trust him! Duh! Saito was also well aware of his duties and was not the sort of man to allow emotion to compromise his decision. Shouldn't by ordering his men to stand down after being grievously insulted. He didn't know what it was, but he had a plan. He must have somewhat sensed my decision, because for a moment his eyes flicked to me and he smiled. Ah! honey.
俺とて騒ぎを起こすつもりはない。この場はあんたたちと目的を同じにしているはずだ。だが侮辱に侮辱を重ねるのであれば、我ら新選組も会津藩も動かざるを得まい。
The tall man from the Satsuma nodded
こちら
deeply.
が浅はかな言動をしたことは事実。この場にいる薩摩藩を代表して謝罪しよう。
Sato returned the man's nod and slid his sword back to his scabbard. The Tatsuma men seemed displeased with how things turned out, but however tall man was, none of them dared to speak out against him. Oh, I understood what Sato had intended to do. Forcing the Satsuma to apologize, he had allowed Aizu to save face. By directly confronting the issue, he had been able to avoid any bloodshed. Because the Satsuma man understood his intention, he apologized. Regardless, I couldn't help but sigh of relief that we had to avoid another pointless fight.
私としてもこの場での戦いは避けたかった。そちらが引いてくれたことに感謝する。
He bowed deeply.
私は天霧久寿と申す者。次には見えるとき、互いが協力関係にあることを祈ろう。
I don't like you, bitch. His introduction finished, he turned and walked slowly back to the ranks of Satsuma, towering above them as he went. Saito, you never intended to fight him, did you? There was a short silence. Saito looked coiled inside himself, staring in the direction Amagiri walked towards before speaking.
居合で脅せば容易に引くかと思っていたが、あの者には俺の剣筋が読めていたようだな。
Huh? Saito practiced Iai, a sword style that focused on drawing a blade and striking in a single sword. Strobe. Amagiri made no attempt to dodge his blow. How could he have known that Saito intended to stop just before the blow had landed?
薩摩にも厄介な相手がいるようだ。話の通じる点は救いかもしれんが。
I wasn't sure if Sato was talking to me or himself. Before I could ask, he turned and walked away. We returned to Hamaguri Gate to await Amaski's return. There was little else to do. After the incident, there was no battles. However, tension remained unabated. Is it possible that Satsuma and Aizu to find a common ground and coexist peacefully? It seems like imagining such a world would be an impossible dream. The Chosu extremists' attempt to attack on the imperial state eventually came to be known as the Hamaguri Rebellion. Although the Shinsengumi were called to action, their efforts were stymied, and they found little in the way of glory. Communication with their superiors was poor at best, and spent much of battle waiting with its reserve. When the Shinsengumi finally entered battle, each man found several strange opponents awaiting him. Chikage Kazama, who defeated Okita at Ikeda, claimed to be Satsuma the main during his encounter with Ichigata. I knew it. Kyuju Amagiri, the man who shattered Hisuke's head guard at Ikeda, also claimed a membership in the Satsuma. They had also met Kiyoshi Ranui, who had fought alongside the men from Chosu. Whoever they were, it was clear they were not allies of the Shinsengumi. Indeed, it seems they could easily become somewhat of its greatest enemies. If they were to meet in open battle, casualties would be severe. By the time the battle was over, the commanders of the Chosu attack had been killed in the fighting, or took their own lives. There were some soldiers, however, who escaped, setting Kyoto ablaze as they fled. Some terrible misfortune, winds the day blew from the north and fanned the flames, reducing southern end of imperial state to ash. As a result of the Chosu attack, many imperial nationalists were executed. With the Hamaguri rebellion over, Chosu was branded as traitors for attacking the state. From then on, they were acknowledged enemies of the court. Drama! Chikage Kazama. Okay. 1864, September. It's this month. And with that, everyone, I think I have to end it there today. Too bad. But I'm sleepy. And it's late. And it's still fucking hot. I hate this AC. I will get it fixed. I swear to God. Okay. But this was fun. It's always fun to play these gaming games. I don't know. I'm feeling of starting a new series. And also I'm planning to have October for what's it called? Hachihime. So let's see on that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and don't want to really talk for long. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, it's fucking hot. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Bye.